Yo, what's up, everybody? So today I have here my friend.
How's it going, y'all? My name's Ilijan. You can just call me I.
I guess you can call him I. So do you know what we're doing today?
Not a single clue. I think I'm learning how to play One Piece to try to win a tournament on Friday.
Not quite.
Not quite? All right.
Yeah. So I would consider you an expert Yu-Gi-Oh player. How long have you been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for?
How old am I? About 20 years? About 20 years?
Long time.
Yeah.
So you probably know it pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. You have like what, 11 regional tops?
Something like that. Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. I would say probably the best player that I know. Like.
All right, I do okay.
Yeah, I think you're pretty good. So, you've also have some experience with a couple other card games, right?
Yeah, I've played in a few Digimon tournaments, done relatively okay for the local scene. I played in a few Lorcana tournaments, did also relatively okay locally. Dabbled in Magic and know a little bit about Kaijudo and Duel Masters.
Okay, fair enough. But I would say you know your cards then. Pretty well. Okay.
Decently, yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna give you 6 different One Piece cards, one from each color, and I'm just gonna have you rate them. What's your experience with One Piece as a property? Let's start there.
I watched it when I was a kid, when the Funimation dub was still happening. If I remember right, it got to the end of the Wapol arc, and then the voice actors switched for the Funimation dub.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really hard for me to keep going. You know, I was like a 10-year-old kid, and I was like, Luffy doesn't sound like Luffy. Why does Usopp now sound like Zoro? And I just couldn't stand it, and it was really hard for me to adjust, and I just stopped watching.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way with Pokemon when
Yeah.
they finally switched like Ash's voice actor.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
just it's weird. It's different. All right, so we're rating the cards, and
Yeah. So basically, I just want you to tell me if you think this card is bad, if you think it's good,
Okay.
or maybe you think a card is just mid. I just want you to read the card and then
give my opinion on it.
give your
All right,
opinion on it.
sounds
Yeah.
cool.
So the first card we're gonna start with is a black card. This is a character card, Gecko Moria.
Well, it looks pretty, so it must be expensive. All right, let's take a look if I can pick up the thing. Choose up to one character with a cost of 4 or less, and up to one character card with a cost of 2 or less from your trash. Play one card and play the other card rested. So this thing plays 2 cards on play. I'm gonna say this card's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because, well, it is 8. So I know that's got to be the mana system or something like that. So 8 cost. What mana do you start off at turn 1?
So if you're going first, you start with 1. It's called Dawn in this game, but mana, same thing. So you start out with 1 Dawn. If you go
Okay.
second, you start with 2.
Okay.
Each turn after that, everyone gets 2 until you reach the max, which is 10.
So this is either a turn. So this is about a turn 4 drop. Is there anything that can, I guess, ramp up in Dawn?
There are cards that do that, but that's typically found in the purple color.
So
and
not
this is
in
a
black.
card.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is a black. It's got 9,000 power. I'm not. Well, if there's anything by magic and like very rudimentary understanding, it's like if this number is similar to their attack stat, it's an okay card. But the fact that this thing brings back 2 seems pretty good too. So I'm going to say this is a pretty good card.
Yeah, you're right on the money. This
Okay.
card is absolutely insane, broken.
Okay.
There's quite a few people that are clamoring for this card to be banned.
Oh yeah.
Except for the people that play it,
All right,
obviously.
well, let's get him
you
out
know.
of here then. See ya.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's absolutely insane. This card is very good. So yeah,
right.
spot on.
All right. One
There he
down,
is.
1 out of 6. Let's see if I
Yeah,
can
you're
keep it
1
up.
for 6. Good job. So this next card is a green card. This is
Okay.
another character, Don Quixote Rocinante.
Okay, what is so I'm guessing each color has their own, I guess I'll call it shtick. What is green's shtick?
Gotcha. Do you want to know blacks too?
Yeah, I think it discards cards because this thing is a revival card, and in Digimon, the black cards would put cards in grave to, I guess, recycle or put back onto the field. So I imagine it's something similar.
Black actually in One Piece manages, their whole gimmick is revolving around cost.
Okay.
So manipulating the cost of cards. This card's sort of an outlier, but black typically will reduce cost to get them down lower, and then they'll play cards that destroy or KO lower cost cards.
Okay, so it brings stuff down to a lower power and then takes it out. Okay.
Yeah, and then, so green's gimmick is all about resting.
Okay.
Whether it's your own cards for powerful effects, your opponent's cards to stun them, whatever it is.
Okay, so kind of similar to Digimon in the early Battle of Omni days with Digiburst and wanting to rest cards in Nidhogmon.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Opponent's turn. If this card is rested, your active character with a base cost of 5 cannot be KO'd by effect. So protect something. Okay. Base cost of 5. So this thing has 8, so it can't protect itself, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. On play, Well, this is bolded. Maybe that's important. You may arrest this character. Play up to 1 green character with 5 cost. That seems pretty good. You play him. You rest. Wait, can I rest him the turn he's playing?
Yeah, it says right after on play you may rest him.
That's fair. That's my mistake. All right.
No, you're good. You're good.
So he plays himself, and he plays another one from hand. Oh, and then he rests himself so something else can't be KO'd.
Yes.
This is a pretty good card.
So you can play, basically exactly what you said. You can play him and then rest him, play a 5 cost, and now since he's rested, he can theoretically protect that 5 cost.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty solid card. I don't know if he's as strong as this one, but he seems pretty solid.
But you think he's good?
I think he's good.
Unfortunately, this card is not very good.
Really?
Yes, it reads crazy.
Uh-huh.
The problem with it is,
okay,
this card here brings back 2 cards, and they have their on-play stuff, so you get a lot of value out of this, right?
Yeah.
This one, however, because he comes in rested, he's susceptible to getting attacked right away, just like in Digimon and stuff. But also, 5 is a very specific number. It's almost too specific. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of good 5-drop green cards to play with him.
Okay.
And like 8 for 8, I mean, it's decent, but there's just better cards you want to be playing at 8 costs in green.
Makes sense.
It seems crazy, but you kind of have to build your deck around it.
No,
you want him to
that does make sense, especially with the way the mana curve kind of happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, not mana curve, dawn curve.
Yes.
Because you start off at 2, 4, 6, 8, or you start off at 1, 3. So it seems like this would only really work super well. And because you want to get to 8, then 5 costs. Okay, I can see how this is weird. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it reads crazy, and I think me and Juan especially, we're coping so hard. One day this card's going to be crazy. Is Juan back there? Yeah, he's back there. Yeah, so one day. Yeah, there's a Bonnie leader right now, and it does play some 5-drops.
Okay.
But even still, you want to use that Dawn for other things, just for now. Okay. The idea is, in the show, he's really close with Law, and there's a green 5 blocker Law. That's probably the best card to play with him, but there's not really anything else. So
okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I can see how that could be good, but it sounds like you guys are saying specific.
Yeah, to get the most value out of this, you kind of have to already have an established board. But that's a little harder to do.
Is this in the category of a win more card then?
I don't even know if I'd put it there. I would just say, just don't even play it. Just not yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so we're 1 right,
1 for 6, but that's okay.
Not bad, not bad.
We have plenty of opportunities. All right, this next card I'm going to show you is another character, blue. This is Sogeking. Not to be confused with Usopp.
Okay. Well, this is like a special art, so that doesn't mean anything necessarily. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this guy. Okay, he's a 7-cost blue, he's 6K, so that's... What's this ranged? I see ranged here. Is that anything?
That's just the type. You know, so in
Yu-Gi-Oh! Attributes and things like that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right. Also treat this card as Usopp according to the rules. All right, now wait 1 second. You said this wasn't... What's going on? Something fishy's going on here. All right.
A bunch of liars in the One Piece community that think Usopp and Sogeking are the same person.
Well, they can't be because, actually...
Yeah, I've never seen them in the same room together.
Yeah, just, he's cool with it.
Yeah, it's all propaganda.
Okay.
But yeah, ignore that part. That part is irrelevant to the effect.
All right. On play, return up to 1 character with a cost 6 or less to the owner's hand. Then draw 2 and trash 2 cards from hand. Okay, so he's removal. And then you get to draw 2, trash 2. So, I mean, you
get to cycle 2 cards.
Cycle 2 cards, but he's 7-drop. I guess that's still early enough to matter. This is hard because I'm having a hard time judging it. Let's see. Bounces back, so he can just play it again now.
Sorry.
I'm going to say, so are my options good and bad, or is there like an in-between?
If you think it's mid, you could say mid. That's fine.
I'm going to say he's mid.
You say he's mid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Final answer.
Based on because of the cost and the power you said and what he bounces?
I might be being influenced by getting one right and getting one wrong here and trying to be safe too.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't put them in any certain order like that.
Yeah.
But I want to say it's mid too, but I think I would be coping. I would say this card is bad.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's sort of a... You've played a little bit of Magic. There's sort of like a vanilla rule, and you want the cost of the character to at least have the same number. The fact that this is 7...
And it's lower.
Is pretty rough, because leaders are already 5k. If you just pump them up by 1k, this thing is a target instantly. And bouncing is not as good as like KOing. You could just replay the card. And a lot of... Like this, for example. This is on play. And the fact that it can't even remove something like itself, it's The draw 2 and the trash 2 is nice. However, there's just better cards to be playing at 7
Oh,
Dawn.
you're right. He came about because if you could bounce himself, you can use him as a kind of weird cycle engine. Just draw 2, ditch 2.
Yes.
I'm sure there's probably better cards to do it, but
He would be better if he could bounce himself. Because theoretically, you could keep looping him if you want to keep drawing
and
cards.
just keep cycling your deck.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So 7 is just an awkward number, and 6K is just too weak.
All right.
And the bouncing the 6 cost isn't that impactful, unfortunately. The best part of the card is drawing.
Yeah.
But there's literally a card that says draw 2 cards for 3.
All right.
And I'd rather just play that.
That's fair. Just
Yeah.
play 2 of those instead.
Okay, so
Okay.
we are 1 and 2
okay.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
that's okay.
okay.
We're still halfway there.
Still
All right.
halfway there.
This next card is a yellow card. This is actually an event card, so it's similar to a spell card in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
And it is called Reject.
Okay. It's got Eminem on the front.
It does have Eminem on the front.
All right. Reject. Main. All right. Main. Choose one. All right. It's got 2 effects. That's already a good sign. Hopefully they're not both bad. KO up to one of your opponent's characters at 5 costs or less. Or it's at 4 costs, so it removes for its value. That seems okay. If your opponent has 1 life card, deal 1 damage to your opponent, then add 1 card for. This card's good. I'm just gonna say.
What makes it? This card's good.
It reads like a yellow card in Digimon, where I'm assuming life is kind of like security in Digimon.
Yes.
From my
the only
understanding.
difference is the Digimon card gets trashed, but in one piece you add it to your hand.
It also has a trigger, so if I'm assuming it's like Digimon, this can be hit in my life, and then I do this.
You can
ability.
choose to activate it.
Okay, or
if
I
you
can
could
add
just
it to my
to your
hand?
Yes.
This card's good.
Yeah. Yeah. This card is good. I'm not gonna like talk around it or
Yeah.
anything. You know, there's no point. This card is actually banned.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This card is pretty insane.
It trades. Yeah, it
The
trades
fact
well,
that it can
does
deal the
all
last
that.
life is kind of absurd for only 4 costs.
That
the
is true.
Yeah, and then even so, if you don't need it, you already have one in hand. It just trades for itself. You draw a card.
So you can. Okay, so in this game, you can deal damage to the opponent when they have no more life, but it still counts as a KO.
No. It takes the
Oh,
last life.
take the last. So
But-
then you can KO.
But then you can kill them right
Okay,
after.
that
Yes.
makes sense then. Okay, yeah, it's still a very solid card.
Yeah. Incredible card. Banned, rightfully so. 2 for 2.
Four.
2
Two
for
for
2.
two.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
and 2. Yeah, not bad. All right, this next
Alright.
card is a red card. This is a character card again.
Okay.
This is Kid and Killer.
Well, he looks like a character. This looks like one of the guys of all time.
Yep, there's Kid in the background.
Oh, okay.
And then Killer up front.
Oh, Kid and Killer. Okay.
Yes.
So we got 4,000. Oh, sorry, 4 cost 5,000. That's a good sign. Rush. All right, you can attack the turn he's played, and when attack your opponent has 2 or less life, this character gains +2 during this turn. 4
Plus 2,000 power.
Well, he goes up to 7 for a 4. I mean, he seems good, but like good for what he is. Maybe not like game breaking, but like overall a solid 4-drop.
And you understand what Rush is, right?
Yeah, he can attack the turn he's
Yes,
playing.
absolutely.
So he can attack the turn he's playing. He gets big, quite a bit bigger than his 4 to this ratio. So I'm going to say he's pretty good for what he is, but not amazing.
I'll go ahead and give it to you because you did say he's pretty good. This card is very good.
Okay.
Yes, it's not broken, but it is game ending.
Definitely like a 4 of for like I imagine like he's just I guess I can go into Lorcana as an example. Like I have 4 drops that are pretty good, but I wouldn't say they're like the best cards in my deck. But
Yes.
still solid cards, just probably not broken unless I'm talking about like Merlin Rabbit. He's not broken, but he's really good.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna. Don't worry, I was gonna get there.
Okay.
So one piece cards also have counter on them, which
That's where
also
they can
helps
ditch
the value
to boost stuff.
to protect. Yeah, and
Okay.
so we didn't even explain that. You didn't even bring it up, but you were able to evaluate correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Even without counter, this card is worth playing.
Okay.
And it's especially good right now until the ban list because there is a leader that can play this for essentially free.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has rush, so
And he has
play
rush,
for
so-
free, swing for free. Yeah, seems pretty good.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
it is a very good card.
Moment of truth.
And a lot of people, I want to do a little anecdote real quick. There's a lot of people who don't even have this in their list, but they'll leave 4 Dawn open to like fake it because it's
Oh.
always a threat, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, we got one more. So far, you're ahead. Let's see if we can finish strong or break
Let's see if
even.
we can finish strong.
All right, this card is a purple character, another 8-drop. This is Vinsmoke Judge.
Well, he looks cool. I like the art of him. Like how he's like superimposed in the front and the background's kind of like
He does look really cool. I wish he wasn't an asshole.
All right, 8 to 8. Okay. On play, Dawn -1. Okay, so that's where you put back Dawn into your Dawn deck.
Basically, like, yeah, you'd lose a land.
Okay,
or
so
lose an ink in
lose it-
Lorcana.
Okay, he's 8. That's kind of expensive at that point to lose one on top of that. But let's read the rest of him. You may trash 2 cards from your hand, play up to 4. Play up to 4 Germa 66 type character.
So that's
cards.
their typing down here.
Okay.
And so he's Germa.
So you can play.
We'll just keep reading. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll see what he
with
can play.
different card names and 4,000 power or less from your trash. So I have to bring him back from my trash. But I trashed 2 cards to do it, so he's fueling himself. Okay,
What's Purple's gimmick?
They manipulate the Dawn for supposedly powerful effects.
Okay.
So like, that card, for example,
Yeah,
you
it's
go,
minusing to get an effect.
you minus your curve, so
Uh-huh.
you're technically 1 Dawn behind, but you get to use
Get
that
an
effect.
effect. Okay.
main. Once per turn, another Dawn -1. Okay. Rest up to one of your opponent's Dawn cards.
Why would I want to do
So
that?
there are
there
are counter events cards
Okay.
that you can play on your opponent's turn. So maybe they leave something up for an effect
Okay.
or a counter card. You could theoretically rest it.
I guess I should. This is my only like outside question. That is that really prevalent in the metagame? Counter stage cards being played on your turn.
I will say there are very few decks that play them. Probably I would just say red decks that
Okay.
play events that use Dawn, active Dawn like that. So I wouldn't say that's the part of the effect to focus
Okay.
on, but it's just a bonus.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now with what you said. I was like, okay, as you were explaining that, my brain's got, okay, it's a bonus extra effect. When bonus extra effects come into play, that usually means the card's pretty good.
The fact that this plays 4 cards,
But I haven't read the rest of them. I'm going to assume it's pretty good if this guy is doing all that, but he also gets to play. I mean, realistically, how bad could a card be if you get it turned into 5, right?
Right.
I'm going to say he's good.
Final answer good?
Yes.
I would say that this card is mid. It is mid. It is mid. You do want to play it though. So the deck that specifically plays it is Reiju, which you've seen her before.
Yeah,
The one with the weird hand.
The one with the weird hand.
yeah, yeah. Very unfortunate art. But besides the point. So that deck focuses on losing Dawn to play characters. So for example, they'll play like a 4,000 power character that has a lower cost, and then they can trash that character to play the big version from the trash.
Okay.
This card basically lets you play all of the little ones, and then all of the little ones can go into the big ones.
Okay.
So
So the little ones have effects on play too.
yes, they do.
Okay.
And so the main issue with this card is because it's purple, and you've noticed he has Dawn -1 on both of his effects. All of the other cards in the deck also need you to
Dawn
minus Dawn.
-1.
So you're pretty low on Dawn, but it doesn't stop the deck from being good. The deck is very good.
It's
but
just he might not be the best option for the deck.
The deck can play with or without him.
Okay.
to get to this point, it will take you a lot. But that being said, once you do play him, you're probably winning the game. You're familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh card Soul Charge.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Okay. Is this what you would call a win more card then?
Yes.
Okay.
But a lot of people are starting to cut it from their decks, but some people are still sticking to 1 because it's searchable.
Okay.
And I think playing 1 is valid.
That makes
1 to
sense.
2, 1 to 2, but
Okay.
it's not. That's
It's
why
a
I would say
tool
it's
that's
mid.
in your
though.
deck, but it's not a tool that you want to focus on. It's-
Exactly.
Okay.
It's pretty mid because you could play with or without it.
That
But I
makes
wouldn't
sense.
outright call it bad, despite what Z says.
Yeah.
Z hates this card.
In my opinion, I'm kind of with him then. If the card's not, my buddy Zach likes this. If a card's not good enough to play its maximum copies, why am I playing it in the first place?
Right.
And I think that's, for the most part, a general good rule of thumb. If this card is really good, why am I not playing max amounts of it? But in this case, I can see why you want to play less because you only need 1. And okay, yeah,
Whether you want to include it or not is up to you, the player. You broke even. 3-3.
Yeah.
3 right, 3 wrong. So
Yeah.
not a bad job.
not a bad job.
I'm curious to see after you learn the game, and maybe we could have you rate more cards after you learn.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. Always happy to come by.
Yeah, no problem.
Hell yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.